Basically, here we will see about MicroPython. Uh, can you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah, it's something like MicroPython is the one which is something like a Python for microcontrollers. Actually, microcontrollers are in earlier days. Microcontrollers are developed with the directly with the assembly language. For example, 8051 or 8051 or 8085 that we have developed directly with the assembly language, and we did the program for embedded application development, and the evaluation of it we come across with something like developing embedded application using a high level language like C programming, and then it has been evolved with the C++ programming language. The similar way there has been a development or something like the technology evolvement has grown into the level of MicroPython, which basically something like there is a small Python interpreter which is present inside the microcontroller that we can able to flash or write into the microcontroller, and that Python interpreter will execute our command accordingly by the microcontroller. That is the MicroPython. The MicroPython is supported with various devices, various microcontrollers from ST microelectronics, and we have something like NXP microcontrollers, and here we will see about ESP32 is the another microcontroller which is supported with the microcontroller MicroPython that we will see. In order to develop, we have the IDE called Thorny IDE that we will use for our development. For example, I'm going to connect my board over here, and before moving connecting the board, I just wanted to show the board which I am going to connect, which is something like a ESP32 based smart IoT kit developed by us. Basically, that it contains the ESP32 dual core 200 MHz microcontroller, and it has something like interface to connect 1.3-inch OLED display, and we have the connector to interface 1.4-inch LCD display into this IoT kit. And then we have something like a 4x4 silicon keypad for any inputs to the ESP32 IoT systems. And we have an RTC, which is something like a real-time clock, which is used to have that time even there is no power to that the system, that it has been powered with the coin battery that will retain the current time, which is similar to the in our system RTC with the CMOS battery. Like that, we have the system over here, and we have an SD card in order to store the logs, in order to access the data logs that is needed for our IoT implementation. And we have the IC called A71CH, which is an IC used to store the keys needed for communicating with the cloud, like Amazon Web Services or something. Like whenever we are doing the registration with the Amazon Web Services, we will be getting a key or token that we will use in our system in order to communicate with that. That will, using that only we can able to communicate with the cloud services. That In order to store that information securely in our system, we have the IC called A71. CH is the IC that that this system has been evolved over here, and then we have something like we have the option to interface the UART that can be used to interface with the fingerprint sensor, or it can be a GPS that can be interfaced accordingly over here. That we can able to interface a GPS to this system, or we can able to connect the fingerprint sensor to this system accordingly over here. And with this system, it has something like a USB, micro USB, which is used to communicate with our host for development of and programming that can be done, debugging and yeah. The USB, using the USB port, we can able to flash the ESP32, and we can able to debug the programs running on the ESP32. That we can able to do that with the help of USB interface. That we can able to do that basically that it has been done with something kind of the IC called FT2232, which is an USB to serial and USB to JTAG interface that provides something like USB to serial is something like serial programming, and USB to JTAG, which is something like debugging the application running in the ESP32. That we can able to do that with the help of FT2232, that we can able to get the console logs. We can able to we will be getting two ports. That one port can be used for debugging, another port is used for serial console and flashing, that we can able to use accordingly over here. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm going to connect. Maybe I will show. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Here, this is the kit. We have the kit which is shown in the shown on the image. This is the kit that we have developed over here, which includes the ESP32 and debugging and the serial consoles, and with the keypad interface, and it has the RTC, and it has something like GPS and fingerprint sensor for connectivity connectors over here, and we have that TCA8148 for debugging the for communicating with the 4x4 keypad, and we have the FT2232, which will provide something like both two COM ports which will create. One is used for something like serial console and flashing, and another one is used for debugging the running programs in the ESP32 accordingly. And here we have two connectors. One is to connect the LCD displays, and other one is to connect the OLED display to this system over here. Now I am going to connect this into my PC, and in order to do that, we have something like a, we have the
Yeah, we lost you, Hari, and you came back.
yes, I got disconnected. Maybe I will share my screen again. Recording is still going. Yeah, no issues over there. Yeah, and this in order to connect, I'm going to use a IDE called Thorny IDE, which is basically used for microcontroller. It is basically a simple Python IDE, and it can be also used for developing a MicroPython based application and flashing that we can able to do that. I'm going to connect the my board into my system. Once I connected, maybe I'm going to device manager. In the device manager, we will be getting 2 ports over here, and 2 serial ports, COM ports we will be getting, and 1 COM port, COM7 will be used for debugging, and the next port, which is COM8, that will be used for as a serial console and flashing onto the ESP32 accordingly. And then I'm going to use the Thorny IDE in order to communicate.
Hari, we need to install any drivers, USB drivers for your board, or it is automatically detected?
It will automatically detected. Basically, that Windows 10 has the drivers inbuilt. We no need to install any drivers for it.
It is CP2120 or CS340J?
Which is, this one is FT2232, which contains 2 serial ports. One will be used for a serial console, and another one used for debugging the programs running on the ESP32 over here. Yeah, now we got the console over here. It's something like I'm going to print, which is very similar to the Python interactive console. I'm going to print hello world over here, and which prints the hello world. I just flashed that, I have flashed that MicroPython already into this board, and because of that I got this MicroPython console on my over here. And if suppose we wanted to install the MicroPython, that we can able to use something like tools, and then option we have something like a interpreter that I'm going to select over here, and in the interpreter we can choose that MicroPython ESP32, and then we have seen something like 2 ports. One is used for COM7 and one is used for COM8, that we have selected one over here. And in order to flash, maybe I'm going to use open the dialog over here, and I'm going to select the port. Maybe in order to flash, do the flashing the flashing the MicroPython firmware into it. For that, I have the switch called boot switch, which is in orange color over here. That this is the boot switch I have over here. I need to press this and connect the cable into it, into the system. I am press. I just unplugged the hardware, and I am pressed that button. I am connecting the board into the PC, and I will select the COM8 over here, and for the firmware I will do something like I am going to select the firmware of something like, yeah, Yeah. Here we have the two firmwares which can be downloaded from internet. For example, I'm going to use which is present in over the internet, that we can able to download the firmware from the internet to get started with the MicroPython. For example, I am going to use directly MicroPython download. This provides something like a MicroPython for microcontrollers that we will be having. These are all the supported boards: PyBoard V1 and PyBoard D, and TI3200. We have something like the ESP-RIF, which contain 8266, and we have the board which we have is based on ESP32. I am going to download the firmware over here. And the firmware for ESP32, I'm going to use this one, which is this one is I already downloaded, and I'm having the file over here. I'm going to choose this file, and I'm going opening this file over here. And once I did, maybe I'm going to give install and continue pressing that the boot switch, so that it does the erasing, and it's erasing the flash, basically erasing all the content of the flash. And now it's writing the firmware into the ESP32 over here. This basically we can able to flash that MicroPython firmware into our ESP32 based system or ESP32 based board, that we can able to flash the MicroPython, and we can get started with the Python based microcontroller application development, that we can able to get started with that. Yeah. And the features perspective, the ESP32 is an wireless, supports wireless Wi-Fi interface and then Bluetooth low energy interface, and because of that we can use that to build a smart BLE Bluetooth low energy based applications, or something like it can able to communicate with the cloud using the wireless interface, that we can able to communicate with the ESP32 based the smart IoT kit platform over here. And it was the flashing is done over here. I'm going to close, and yeah, now I got connected with the MicroPython firmware which is running on that over here. Now we have the we have connected this this Thonny IDE connects that into the with the MicroPython device over here, and I'm going to provide something like for example print hello world. I'm going to type the simple printing, which we can able to get the print. And if suppose we wanted to get the what all the supported modules available in the MicroPython firmware, that we can able to get with the information of help of modules will provides the information about what all the different kind of modules present in the MicroPython firmware, which we have flashed over here. It's something like we have the different modules over here, and we have the module called machine to access that different all the machine interfaces in the sense something like the GPIO interface, something like I2C interface, or something like SPI interface. All the interfaces can be accessed using the machine. And we have a network in order to communicate with the socket based communication. The network supports accordingly. And we have the normal sys which provides the information to org-v and org-c and different. It is very similar to that normal Python sys module over here. And then we have something like a, sorry, yeah. Then we have something like a WebSocket, and we have the UDP socket, and we have something like a pip to install over here. We have the flash device that we wanted to use. All those things are present inside the module accordingly over here. And here we will see how can we do that, access the GPIO of ESP32. Before that, we will see some introduction about the GPIO. Basically, the GPIO is a general purpose input and output, and which can be used for any purpose. It can be configured like a input or output, and if it is configured as an output, we can write the values to make low or high to that particular pin. And in case if we configure that pin as an input, then we can able to read that value of the pin, whether it is currently high or low on that pin accordingly. Here in that system, we have the two pins which is connected with the user LEDs over here. Yeah. Here we have two LEDs which is present over here for the user LEDs. It has been connected with the GPIOs of ESP32. The first one is IO number 2, which is connected with the user LED 1, and IO number 32, which is connected with the user LED 2 over here. And I'm going to access it, the GPIO over here. For example, in order to access, I'm going to create something like a pin 2, which is and I'm going to use machine.pin of something like before that, I'm going to do import machine into our platform. And once I imported, and maybe I'm going to use p2 equals something like machine.pin of number 2, and then we have something like machine.pin.out. I'm going to configure that pin as a output pin over here, which I have configured. And I'm going to, basically the LED is connected in the reverse way. We write 0, the LED glow. If we write 1, the LED will off. I'm going to write p dot value of 0. Yeah. We have the LEDs glowing over here, that we can able to see that LED is glowing. And I'm going to set p2 dot value of 1 over here, which makes that LED 2 off. It's something like I'm going to write 0 again into it, which makes the LED to glow. Basically that writing 0, which makes that LED to glow. And whenever we are writing to that pin, the value of 1, the pin goes off over here. This is something like a simple GPIO, and we have something like, I'm going to use similar way, pin number 32 and machine.pin of 32, machine.pin.out over here, and I'm going to write p32 dot value of 0 over here. Now the other LED is glowing over here, and I'm going to use the same way the p2 over here. Now you can able to see there is a 2 LEDs are glowing, and maybe I'm going to shut off the user LED 1 over here, which stops that glowing of 1 LED, and I'm going to stop that, write that value of 1 onto the IO pin 32, and because of that, the user LED 2, which also stops glowing over here. Yeah. This one, we have the APIs or something like we have the module called machine, which contains that different kind of interfaces to access the GPIOs. It has a pin, and a pin is the class it contains, and to access the I2C interface, it has the I2C and SPI kind of interfaces are available. For example, how can I create my own file over here? How can I create a file and I can store the file into it? Maybe I'm going to create a file. I'm going to do something like import machine over here. And in order to do that, maybe I'm going to save. Whenever I do the save, it asks for whether the file has to be saved in the MicroPython device or in the computer. I'm going to save my device into the MicroPython device. For example, as a file called maybe a user led.py is my file over here. I'm going to save this file. Yeah, I just saved, and I'm going to create a class called class user led over here, and in that I'm going to create a constructor def underscore init of shelf over here, and in that I'm going to create a 2 pins self dot p2, which is something like a machine dot pin of 2 comma something like machine dot pin dot out over here. And the similar way, self dot p32 equals machine dot pin comma 32 comma machine dot pin dot out. I'm configuring. I just configured that the constructor with the initialization of the pins, and I'm defining a member functions. For example, I'm going to use a def LED off over here. I'm going to off the LED, which is something like self comma, maybe I'm going to pass the LED number over here. In case of if I pass the user LED 1, that will from my point user LED is 1 and user LED 2, which I'm going to access over here. And for example, in order to do that, I'm going to use if p equals 1, then I have to write the value of p2 self dot p2 dot value of 1 I need to write over here. And in case if p equals to 2, then I have to write self dot p32 dot value of 1 I'm going to write over here. The similar way, I'm going to do something like LED on over here, and in that I'm going to do self dot p the LED number, and I'm going to use if p equals 1, then I'm going to do self dot p2 dot value of 0, which makes that LED to glow. And a similar way, if suppose we have p2, which is something like a self dot p32 dot value of 0, which will close that user LED 2 over here. Now I have saved this into the MicroPython device. Here we will see how can I access that. Yeah, maybe in order to access, I'm going to use the same tag like from my Python file name is user LED over here, and I'm going to import the class which is present inside the user LED Python file, I'm going to import user LED over here. I got imported because that user LED.py, which is present inside my MicroPython device. I just got imported, and I'm going to create an instance for this user LED over here. For example, I'm going to use something like a ULED of something like I'm going to create user LED of over here, which created the LED instance. I'm going to do something like user LED dot LED off, sorry, LED off over here with the pin number 1, and which makes that LED to off, and I'm going to do same way, and similar way ULED LED on of 1, which I'm going to on this user LED, which basically power ons one LED over here. And for example, here we can able to see there is a one LED is glowing, and I'm going to give something like a user LED 2. I'm going to give which is basically flash enables the 2 LEDs are glowing, and a similar way I can able to power off the LEDs, the first LED over here, and I just power off, and I have the device which is used to update this over here. And for example, I am playing with this interactive shell. For example, I wanted to make something in my, whenever I power on, it has to the power the some program has to be executed automatically. In that case, we need to create a file name called main.py over here, and I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to use from something like user LED. I'm going to import user LED class, and maybe once I did over here, and maybe I'm going to use import time over here, and I will check whether there is a time is present or not with the help of help.modules over here, and we have something like a, maybe I will do something like import time. Yes, time is present, and maybe I can do time dot sleep of 1 second over here. Sorry, the sleep S should be small. Yeah, it is slept for 1 second and it came back. I'm going to use the same over here, and in my program I'm going to write something like create a LED over here, user LED ULED equals, I'm going to create a instance for user LED class over here, and then once I created the LED, maybe I'm going to power on the LED over here in the while loop over here. And for example, I'm going to do while sorry, maybe while condition equals true, and maybe I'm going to continuously check condition equals 1 over here, and I'm going to do something like a u LED dot LED on of 1 over here, and then I'm going to do some kind of a sleep time dot sleep for 1 second, and then I'm going to do time dot LED, sorry, LED off for sorry, maybe LED on 2. I just making that second LED on after 1 second, and maybe I'm going to do sleep for 1 second over here, and then once it is done, maybe I'm going to sorry, u LED dot time LED on, and I'm going to use ULED dot LED of 1 over here, and then time dot sleep of 1 second over here, and I'm going to use ULED dot LED of 2 over here, and then I'm going to use time dot sleep over here. 1 second of sleep I'm going to give over here. In order to get start running with that, the program name should be main.py. I'm going to save this file inside the MicroPython device as a main.py over here. I just saved this file, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to disconnect and connect that system again, and how it performs, whether any crashes are coming, that we will see over here. I'm going to disconnect. Yeah, maybe I will close this Thorny IDE and disconnected disconnected my board over here. There is no port seen, and I'm going to connect the board again. Yeah, there is no IDEs present. It's something like we can able to see there is a LED on, 2 LED on, 1 off, another off, and 1 on, off, off, 1 on, 2 on, 1 off, 2 off, and 1 on, 2 on. Like that, it was continuously rotating. Since if there is a file called main.py, if it is present in the MicroPython device, whenever the Python console comes up on the power up, if main.py file is present, that file will be executed by the Python automatically. Then if it got executed, how can I go into the interactive interpreter that we will see over here? And for example, I'm going to open the Thorny IDE over here. Yeah, I just opened, and we have that device is busy, does not respond to our options, something like wait, it completes the till work, or we can use something like a Control C to interrupt the current work, and we can able to go into the interactive consoles over here. For example, I'm going to press Control C. It basically stops that main.py execution, and with the keyboard interrupt, and we got the MicroPython interpreter terminal. We can able to get it accordingly over here. This provides, how can we, if suppose we wanted to open a file for editing the file, you can use, once we stopped this, once we get that interactive console, after that we can able to access the device files. I'm going to use MicroPython device file. I'm going to open the user.led.py, which is present inside the MicroPython device, and maybe I'm going to open the main.py over here, and we can do the editing, and we can save that, and it will start continuing the execution. If suppose there is a syntax error, or there's something like there is a mismatch, or something like some class is not found, module is not found, then we will get that whenever we start with the Thorny IDE, we will get that output over here. And for example, I'm going to use a method called, I'm going to put something like over here. For example, print user LED 1 is on over here. And the same way, I'm going to use the over here, user LED 2 is on, and we can use user LED 1 is off, and we can use this kind of consoles that the printf we have used, if suppose we have used this kind of the prints, that we will see that the it can be it can come on the system according in the console accordingly. For example, which I'm going to use the run the current scripts over here. I'm going to run this and provide something like a user LED on and user LED 1 on. Like that, we are getting the prints on to the systems, and also the respective LEDs. We can able to see that on the device accordingly over here. Yeah, this is something like a very basic getting started with the MicroPython. How can we flash the MicroPython firmware into the hardware, and how can we use that MicroPython with the help of Thonny IDE, and how can we access the peripherals of ESP32 with the help of machine module and with the help of pin class that we can able to create. And then how can we create our own file and save the file into the into our board? How can we get started with the interactive console, and how can we save our file into the MicroPython device, and how can we get started with the automatically that we can get started with the automatic execution by saving the file in the name of main.py accordingly over here. Yeah, this provides a simple getting started with the MicroPython, and how can we use the MicroPython over here. And since it has the complete Python libraries for all the pins for accessing that, or providing something like a Bluetooth low energy, configuring like a Bluetooth low energy device, communicating with the Wi-Fi, communicating with the web server, all those things are embedded into the MicroPython firmware, that we can able to use that firmware, and we can develop our own software application using the Python environment, which is an efficient and faster to get started and development. And my Python is simplified, and it has the very minimal set of coding is needed to completely access that different interfaces present over here. Today we have seen how can we use that access that the user LEDs present in our board, that we have seen with the help of MicroPython, machine module, and with the help of pin class of the machine module over here. Yeah. Yeah. This. Yeah, please.
I'll ask it then. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Hari, one small question. The ESP32 speed when compared to ESP IDF and MicroPython, which will be faster?
Actually, whenever we have seen that, I'm going to show you maybe the one. Yeah. The firmware which we are downloading over here. Yeah. We have used to download the firmware which is ESP32 IDF3 based one. Actually, something like this provides a wrapper for this ESP IDF C functions and C functions. And basically it's a wrapper for a Python wrapper for ESP IDF. Because of that, it will be very similar to the performance of ESP IDF. But the thing is, since there is a Python wrappers and Python loads are present, comparing with direct C execution, there will be a little delay on the boot up, and while running, it will be the Python interpreter has to get loaded on the boot up. That will that may delay that, and during the runtime there will not be any, we cannot able to see much difference in execution during the runtime of the program, and maybe a loading time will be get delayed because we have the Python interpreter also should get load over here. Yeah. Yeah. Is this fine? Hello?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Convincing.
Okay. Yeah, please feel free to share if you have any other questions over here that we shall discuss.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Sir, in the given help modules, only some standard modules are given. So if in case I need some modules, how to install that?
What kind of a module you require over here? Maybe this has been given with the all the modules needed for MicroPython. For example,
Yes.
yeah. Here we have something like this supports BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy, and Wi-Fi. In order to do the communication, we have something like a WebSocket. We have the SSL-based sockets. We have something like parsing the JSON. All those things that we can able to do that over here. And if suppose you wanted to add the functionality, then you can save the file like this. For example, if there is no file called user LED class, not user LED module or class is found, then we have saved this user LED into the MicroPython device. Using that, we can able to import the functionality like a user LED over here. Like that, you can add your own functionality with the help of adding the Python files over here.
Okay.
Hari, may I add a point over here?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, so the MicroPython is built based on Python 3, but some of the Python 3 modules wouldn't support. So you need to try and see. When you implement only, you'll know few libraries wouldn't support.
Something like that that's something like that we are seeing something like in our PC is a full featured system, but the thing is we are trying to run and trying to utilize the feature of Python on the microcontrollers with respect to that limitation that all the needed all the necessary things needed for this particular Python, that it has been built for all the modules needed for this particular microcontroller. It has been built and generated like a binary. If suppose you needed, you have to port that into the current platform accordingly. Yeah. If suppose we wanted to add a new module support, you need to port that functionality into this, and we can able to get that functionality, but that will cost lot. That needs lot of efforts and things to be done in order to port to this MicroPython using ESP IDF based environment accordingly over here. Nice. You have any other clarification on this?
No, Hari.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Yeah. This is basically getting started with the MicroPython, and how can we flash that MicroPython, and how can we get started with to use that MicroPython accordingly over here. Yeah. Thank you for attending the session, and have a nice have a nice evening, and thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.